Ever heard of a virus that sounds like a secret government experiment? No, it's not a sci-fi movie. It's called HMPV, short for Human Metapneumovirus. If you're wondering whether it's the big Marvel supervillain, fear not, because today we're going to unravel the mystery behind HMPV, how it spreads, how serious it can get, and most importantly, how can you stay safe. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be an HMPV expert, and who knows, you might even win a round of trivia at your next family gathering. First things first, where did HMPV come from? HMPV was first discovered in 2001 by a group of scientists in the Netherlands. Proof that the Dutch don't just make great cheese, they also discover intriguing new viruses. Although it was only identified in the 21st century, it's believed that HMPV has actually been circulating among humans for decades, possibly for over half a century. Researchers simply didn't have the tech to spot it sooner. Imagine HMPV sneaking around undetected like that co-worker who always manages to avoid the staff meeting, but still shows up at the office potluck. So let's get the facts straight. HMPV is part of the paramyxovirus, basically a cousin of RSV, the respiratory syncytial virus, which is famous for making babies and older folks sick. HMPV is a virus that primarily targets the respiratory system, the part of your body responsible for breathing. HMPV can cause an infection in your lungs and your airways. In most people, this feels like a mild to moderate respiratory illness. Think runny nose, sore throat, cough, fever, maybe a bit of wheezing. But in infants, older adults, or those with weakened immune system or immunocompromised immune systems, HMPV can sometimes pack a heavier punch, leading to more serious conditions like pneumonia or bronchitis. How does HMPV spread? It's pretty similar to how many viruses get around, through respiratory droplets. When someone infected with HMPV coughs or sneezes, tiny virus-packed droplets can land on surfaces, or if you're unlucky, directly on you. You can catch HMPV by touching a contaminated surface and then touching your nose, mouth, or eyes. And if you're in close contact with someone infected, like sharing a sip of their drink, well, congratulations, you've just invited the HMPV to the party. Pro tip, if your friend offers you a sip of their super awesome smoothie, maybe say, "No thanks, I've heard about HMPV and I'm good." Now for the big question, how long does HMPV last? Typically for healthy individuals, the symptoms can show up around 3 to 6 days after exposure to the virus. The illness itself usually lasts about a week, give or take a couple of days. If you are a generally healthy adult, you might just power through it with a box of tissues, some cough drops, and your favorite comfort food. But if you start feeling short of breath or you have underlying conditions like asthma or heart disease, you might find the virus hits harder and hangs around longer. And let's be honest, every virus thinks it's the VIP with the backstage pass to your immune system. HMPV is no different. It'll stick around as long as you let it. Before you panic, let me give you a bit of relief. There's no specific magical cure for HMPV just yet, but the good news is that most people recover on their own with some self-care. That means rest, hydration, and over-the-counter medications to ease the fever or pain. If you've got a really stubborn cough, your doctor might recommend cough medication or an inhaler. In more severe cases, especially if someone develops pneumonia or has trouble breathing, they may need supplemental oxygen or hospitalization. But for the average healthy person, it's all about supporting your body's immune system to do what it does best: kick viruses to the curb. And remember, if your symptoms feel out of ordinary, it's always wise to check in with your healthcare professional. Don't rely on your great uncle's secret family recipe as your only treatment, unless that recipe is rest and a warm bowl of chicken soup. This brings us to another crucial point. Is HMPV serious? For the majority of healthy folks, it's more of an inconvenience than a major health risk. However, in young children, especially infants, older adults, or individuals with compromised immune systems, HMPV can become more than just a pesky cold. It can lead to bronchitis or pneumonia, which may require medical attention or even a hospital stay. But don't freak out. Being aware of your own risk factors and seeking medical advice if your symptoms get worse is the best way to handle HMPV infection. Knowledge is power, right? Okay, now that you know what HMPV is and how it spreads, let's talk about how to keep it away. Because prevention is always better than treatment, right? Wash those hands. Hand hygiene for the win. Regularly washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds is a champion move. It's simple, effective, and your immune system will thank you. Avoid close contact. If someone in your social circle is coughing like a foghorn, it's probably a good idea to keep a little distance. Politely say, "Rain check on that hug, buddy." Cover your coughs and sneezes. Use your elbow or a tissue. Just don't spray it everywhere. Let's keep those viruses contained, people. Disinfect surfaces. Wipe down common touch points like doorknobs, phones, or that TV remote you keep losing in the couch. Mask up when needed. In crowded places or if you're feeling under the weather, wearing a mask can help protect both you and others from catching whatever's in the air. And if all else fails, you can always invest in a giant super bubble. But let's be honest, that's probably not going to be super practical at the grocery store. To recap, HMPV is a respiratory virus discovered in 2001 but likely around for decades. It spreads through respiratory droplets, so coughing, sneezing, or direct contact with contaminated surfaces. Symptoms usually mimic a mild cold but can become severe in vulnerable groups. Treatment is supportive: rest, fluids, over-the-counter meds. Seriousness depends on your age and health status. Prevention is your best friend. Wash hands, cover coughs, disinfect surfaces, and keep your distance from the unwell. So there you have it, everything you need to know about HMPV without the complicated jargon or conspiracy theories. If you found this video helpful or even just a little bit entertaining, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more health-related content. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.